that. And then I do that. And coming to you live from an old woman's house on a hill where Creston has started a daycare. And Zach is starting his 5th tenure at school. And Kenny Weiss started a auto service in his yard where he just yells at his wife while she fixes everything. And I, the sports candy, have become the generational talent.
That's my line. He stole it.
Oh, yeah, we're here. Go. That's it. It's your turn.
Brought to you by...
Are we doing that now?
Yeah, right now.
And brought to you by Old Hickory House Barbecue Joint.
Thank you, Old Hickory House. Welcome, everyone, to this episode of Sports Allegedly. We've got Zach to my right, Creston across the way, not covering the Sports Allegedly. He's just covering our cool logo. And Sean, who stole my generational talent, because he said, if you've listened before, that you cannot say that again. So I've mentioned generational talent about Bijan Robinson, who looks good. Zay Flowers, kind of my guy right now. There's plenty of other generational talents that are going, but it's going to work out. But anyway, thank you everyone for joining us tonight. On the schedule, we're going to talk. We're going to replay the Pac-12. Me and Sean changed our picks, I'm sure, because Creston wasn't here. So we're going to talk about Pac-12 predictions and the Pac-12 championship. We're also going to quickly go over our Big Ten college football predictions, and then we'll move on. We'll talk a little NFL, and then we'll move on to the Outdoor Minute. Creston's got a little Outdoor Minute tonight. Zach has some trivia to talk about. I'll talk about a little recruiting. I also have an interesting trivia, and then we'll close it up. So let's move on. Let's start with the Pac-12, since we've already talked about this a little bit in a previous episode, but Creston missed. So in the last episode, we said, hey, we're going to rehash that a little bit. Obviously, the Pac-12 does not do the divisions anymore. They're going to go into the top two, go into the championship where they used to be separated. So I'm going to put this over to Creston. Creston, kind of go over whoever's picks you want to talk about. We don't run through them real fast, and we'll talk about the top few.
Okay, Sean's got Utah, Oregon, USC, Washington, UCLA, Arizona. Ohio State, Arizona. I don't think Ohio State's supposed to be in there.
Oh, it's supposed to be Oregon State.
Our secretary really doesn't know her.
Well, I might know.
Thanks, secretary.
Secretary. Yeah, she doesn't know her.
That's her.
So UCLA, Oregon State, Arizona, Washington State, Cal, Arizona State, Colorado, Stanford. And me and Sean's got a little bit different. I got USC, Washington, Oregon, Utah, Oregon State, UCLA,
all those USC,
Arizona State, Colorado, and Stanford. Our bottom half's pretty much the same. It's just our top 3 or 4 is a little different.
And me?
Kenny has...
sorry.
Somebody please include Kenny.
Kenny's got USC, Oregon, Washington, Utah, Oregon State, UCLA, Arizona, Washington, Arizona State, Cal, Colorado, and Stanford.
Okay, so let's talk about the top 4. Let's flip it over. Who's the top 4? Let's just talk about the top 4 that we talked about, and we'll talk a little bit about that.
Okay, I got USC.
Has everybody got USC first?
Well, no, Sean does not.
I don't want
Sean has Utah first.
I'm going
Oregon
rogue.
Second.
I'm going
USC
rogue.
Third. He's got USC third.
Cute
time.
Who's number 2?
He's got Oregon number 2.
I think I switched Oregon to my second pick.
You did.
I do. I like them. I really
I got him third.
No, I like what Dan Lanning's doing. I think the defense is going to be better. Nix, he's going to be a Heisman hopeful. I don't think he's that good, but he's serviceable. He's more looking like an NFL quarterback. Defense is going to improve. Lanning's in his second year. He reminds me a lot like Venables their first year. They had a lot of really bad miscues as far as time management, different things in the game that cost them some wins, but I like it. Sean's got Utah.
We've all got the same teams in the top 4. We just have a couple of them. Sean's way different. Me and you.
So who was third for Sean?
USC.
Sean has USC third.
Who'd you pick third?
Utah, third. I have Oregon.
Okay, and then who did you pick Washington fourth?
I picked them second, Oregon, then Utah.
Okay, so tell me why a little bit. We'll talk about your picks, Creston. Just talk about yours. You pick your top 4.
Why.
Remind everyone what yours is only.
USC, Washington, Oregon, Utah. And
so why
Oregon and Washington I could flip-flop.
So why do you have them 2 over Utah?
I don't know. I just feel like Utah had really good run against USC last year. I think they're going to have some losses this year. I just don't feel like everything's going to mesh as well for them.
Now, Cam Rising did injure his ACL in the bowl game, so they're not sure if he's going to come back for game 1. That's why I picked them down a little bit. I think I have them 4th.
They had a rough start.
And their schedule is.
And remember their backup. Their backup took a hip injury.
No, and their schedule. I mean, now their beginning they go
You
Florida
have
at
them
Baylor.
4th, and I have them 4th. Me and you, the only difference we have is Washington and Oregon is flip-flopped on us.
So, but Utah's schedule, they play at Oregon State, at USC, got Georgia at home, and at Washington. That's a gauntlet compared to what USC has is at Oregon. They have Utah and Washington at home, where Oregon plays Washington. Oregon then goes to Washington and Utah, and then Washington has at USC, at Oregon State. They do have Utah at home. That's why I picked USC first. I think their defense is shit, but they have
the easier schedule.
They do. They do have a little easier schedule.
And their offense is one of the better offenses. I mean, I think
it's
the best offense.
I think
in the Pac-12, sorry.
Pac-12.
Yeah.
I think that their defense is going to be much improved. How could it be worse? But anyway.
That's a Kenny Weastism.
But I think they're going to be better. And so, Sean, now let's talk a little bit about your picks before we move on to the Big Ten. Why did you pick them? And actually, championship, you're still comfortable with USC and Oregon in the championship. Mm-hmm. Okay, me too. Sean, go ahead and talk about your picks.
So I know that Utah's going to have a rough start, but Cameron is coming back. It might be the 3rd game by the time he's back. They have the first 2 is Florida Baylor.
Mm-hmm.
3rd game,
which I didn't count even in my picks.
3rd game, yeah. 3rd game is the opener. Is that the opener? 3rd game.
I didn't look, but I know early it's Oregon State. Which Oregon State I had about 5th.
Great defense.
Did you have them up there?
Offense.
They're ranked. They're going to be preseason ranked.
I got Oregon State 5th.
Yeah.
You have them
probably 5th.
5th.
Yeah.
Sean has them
1st.
The coach has proved that he can beat.
Where does he have him?
6.
Who's he got ahead of them?
UCLA, Washington.
Oh, please!
I took the fighting.
Please!
I took the fighting Chip Kelly's.
You got the backup quarterback for that's going to be the backup at the Browns. Yeah, Robinson. I think is his last name. Dorial Robinson. Anyway,
Dude, Robinson is there now.
Yeah, because he's the rookie from UCLA. They have no quarterback.
There's
no proven quarterback at UCLA was my concern for them. Cam Rising is hurt. He's going to come back. Bo Nix at Oregon. Penix, who most people like as a Heisman candidate. And he's actually been quiet. Washington's just a quiet team right now.
I don't really remember finishing my statement.
So, go ahead. What was your statement?
I don't remember finishing why I picked my picks the way I did.
Go ahead and pick your picks.
Oh.
No.
It's just USC defense with the improvement in Oregon. And Utah's coach proved that he can beat them twice in a season.
He's got Oregon 2nd or 1st?
2nd.
Okay.
I got him 2nd.
And you got Utah winning one. Okay, so you got Utah and Oregon. So everybody likes Oregon to move up.
Yeah, everybody likes the
now.
Everybody likes the moves to Oregon. Recruiting.
I did originally pick Utah and Washington above Oregon, but then I went to look at their schedule and I just think they're tougher. I think that USC's got an easier schedule. Oregon's does have to go to Washington and Utah. That's tough. I just think they're a better team. Because Washington's going to have to come back and go to at USC. And Oregon State.
I don't trust Oregon's quarterback. You guys do, but I don't.
Nix? Oh, he's very serviceable.
Penix.
No, that's Washington.
Oh, yeah, I thought it was Washington.
Phoenix
I don't
is
trust
Washington.
Washington.
Well,
Nix has been playing for like 7 years.
Yeah, Auburn for
8
14
years?
and then 2 at Oregon.
14,
yes,
yeah.
So,
I thought it was only 13, but hey.
and I think he was a.
Well, Bo's well accomplished.
But I think he's a legacy guy at
started
Oregon,
now,
I believe, or Auburn, because I think his dad played there.
Bo Nix?
Yeah.
So
I think he was
would he
legacy
be a
guy.
generational talent since he's played for a generation?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
How does that
Because
fit
you
into
would have to
that?
put talent on there.
Oh.
See,
Oh,
generational
okay.
talents are ones that don't come along all
He's
the
just
time.
a generational quarterback.
Yeah,
he's not a talent.
Exactly. All right. Well, we'll write that. We'll do the picks. All right. Pac-12 actually, that they are disbanding. Honestly, though,
Yay!
they are one of the most interesting
Uppity
conferences to
bitches.
watch this year because the quarterback play is so good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I honestly think they have the best quarterback play out of any of the conferences because you've got Alabama, you've got Georgia. They're starting new quarterbacks. I don't know who's playing for Ole Miss. Will Rogers is still at Mississippi State.
Look
So
who the third team they're playing.
So you've got, how do you say that? That is Weber State.
Weber. It's not Weber. It's Weber.
Kudos to Weber State.
Weber State. That was a big argument.
But,
I think you missed that.
and I won that. But anyway, so.
Yes, we know.
Yeah,
you
won.
You played
He won.
19 times.
But then you go back to look at Texas, or the Big 12. We're going to talk about next week. We're going to forecast, since that'll be the last big conference that we forecast. But the quarterback play isn't near as good as the Pac-12's. Quarterback play right now is the best in the Pac-12 right now as far as returning starters. You can't name another conference that competes with that. Can you, Sean? You're giving me the eyes like you can.
Just looking at you.
No, you just can't.
Crazy.
I mean, you just can't. I mean, the Big Ten.
Nope,
You've got
that's a name
Ohio.
for it, sorry.
You've got Ohio State. They don't have a quarterback. I don't know who is Purdue, Michigan State, whatever. The kid from my Michigan comes back. JJ. Really need to remember his name because he is a good quarterback. But I think the Pac-12 has the best returning college quarterbacks in the nation. And that conference is it. This is their last year to watch them. And it's going to be interesting because it's going to be the most exciting. We're going to be up wee hours of the night here in Oklahoma watching to see how our picks go down and hoping that Sean is wrong. So anyway, all right, moving on.
Whatever makes me correct and you wrong is what I want.
And we'll post all our picks later on. We'll post it on Twitter.
Socials.
We'll also
Just say the
put
socials.
on the socials. And then all right, let's move on to the Big Ten.
Okay, Big Ten East, I have Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan State, Maryland, Rutgers, and Indiana. Sean's got he's got Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan State, Maryland, Rutgers, and Indiana, just like I did.
Oh, how cute! Cuddling in the corner again.
We don't look this up together. You have Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, Maryland, Michigan State, Rutgers, and Indiana. So you have the top two switched, and
the
fourth and fifth switched.
Yeah, fourth and fifth. First and second and fourth and fifth is different in mine and Sean's.
You know, that when I look at that, and you guys are probably right. Everybody's got Michigan, and we'll talk about this in 2 weeks. We'll pick our Final Four. Next week we'll actually pick our Final Four.
Yeah,
after we
I can do mine right now.
Nope. After the Big 12 preview next year, we'll talk about the Final Four. But everybody's the professionals, have Michigan a lot. I didn't say it, but have Michigan in that Final Four. And I mean, do we trust Harbaugh? He hasn't won a bowl game.
I trust him to get it back.
I mean, he did make the Final Four this year.
Trust him to get it back.
Lost to TCU, who was a team that was very, shouldn't have been in there. I wouldn't say shouldn't have been, but was the surprise entrance in the people that entered of the.
It's just the boy wonder.
Yeah,
I'm just going to tell you right now, the
Big
12's been there how many times? 6 times in the Final Four.
We only missed one or two.
We missed one, maybe 2. But anyway, we've been there, and
we talked about that. It started 14.
And TCU is the only team in the Big 12 that's won their first round.
That's correct.
OU's the only other team that's winning.
Yeah, that's right.
OU.
And we had Pooh Coach, but anyway.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about the shit.
No, we're not talking about the start with Lincoln Riley against Georgia.
No.
Yeah,
I'm just talking about the shit that Kenny tried to start the other day. And
I just sent a picture.
He answered that one.
I did. I looked at that.
No, what was funny was the video.
As soon as I saw the picture, I was like, fuck him.
Preston doesn't answer our texts. It's usually just everybody watching me and Kenny have a conversation.
No, so randomly that video of that game come on. I don't even remember what I was watching. But I snapped a picture to try to catch the score. And it was perfect that our former coach was sitting there with his hand on his chin, with his eyes squinted, going, "What the fuck just happened?"
31-3.
Yeah, it wasn't that much, but I think
it was 31-3.
No, it's 31-14.
31-14.
And the reason it was
They
14,
squib-
the reason it was
they
14,
squib-
they squib kicked it,
and then it would have been 17.
Yes.
They hadn't kicked the field goal yet, but they got good field position. But anyway, I digress.
Oh,
who needs
you
to talk?
always digress.
Who
All you
needs
do
to
is
talk
digress.
about that?
I don't want to talk about that.
So anyway,
Let's move on.
OSU, I trust OSU. I trust Ohio State.
Ohio
You trust
State.
Dave?
Talking about Big Ten, I trust that team better. There's more talented.
I
They
was
have
thinking
the.
smart
I
ass.
know they have the best wide
But
receiver.
they do have the best wide receiver. They
with
have
Harrison.
They have the top 2 wide receivers.
Yeah, but you said they don't have a quarterback.
They don't have a returning quarterback. But obviously at Ohio State, you're going to have some talent.
How tall is he?
You're going to have some talent.
How tall's the new one?
You know, I don't know if they've announced actually who's
starting?
taking over that.
We just need to know how tall he is, so that way we know if you like him or hate him.
Whatever. So
College, he likes his
Well,
short
as long
quarterback.
as he's 6'5", Creston's in love with him.
No, 6'1" is what I said. 6'1" or
I
above.
thought you said like 6'5".
No, 6'1" or above. That's
Okay.
you can listen to last week's.
McKinney only like 6'5".
I think
He's like 6'1's not that tall. It's taller than you.
it looks like McCord. The kid named McCord's going to be the starter. I don't know much about him. Kyle McCord, and that's possible. I don't know. I mean, but I'm saying I think the talent around him, the defense is going to be better. You've got Knowles that used to be at OSU. That's going to be his
What
second.
about their run game?
They generally have a pretty good run game.
They have a decent run game, but against Michigan's defense.
Well,
This is what I'm saying. Michigan
hold on
has
now.
everything better right now.
Yeah.
Next
If you look-
season,
if you look at
total
stats,
difference.
yeah.
Because what, they're losing their quarterback?
I don't.
They're
believe
losing.
stats
They're
when it
losing
comes
some
to
of their
that.
defense.
Yeah, Kenny doesn't look at stats at all.
Oh wow!
At all.
And next
Never.
on Kenny's bullshittery, Kenny's dirty lies.
Okay, so they do go to Michigan at the end of the year.
So they're at the big house. Horseshoe?
Yeah.
Who's got the horse? No,
No,
they're
they're
at the big
going
house.
to
They're at the
Michigan.
big house.
Going to the
So
big house.
Michigan's the big house.
believe
Dude,
that.
trying to
Ohio
remember all
State's
the
the
trying to
horseshoe.
remember all the names.
No,
Yeah.
I think that
Because remember, I said I would love to go to Michigan.
Does anybody
That's my
remember
one
what
game.
UCF's stadium's called? It's the bounce house.
The bounce
All they do is they drunk and they bounce around.
Well, no, my thought was though is
Welcome to
I think that Michigan has won the last two, if I'm
They've
not
won the
mistaken.
last two,
Yeah.
yes.
And I think that that's going to come into play a little bit here. I mean, just because I feel it's a gut feeling. They're going to go to Michigan. We're going to hear that
Kenny,
song.
you never go with your gut.
We all going to hear that
He
song.
goes with stats.
And-
He
Yeah, you're
goes with
always stats. You never go with your gut.
Never.
I have railed on you about this.
No, but I mean,
because you were giving me shit about going with my
but
gut.
my stats tell me that Michigan's coach doesn't win big games. He has beat Ohio
Now,
The
is
State.
he
last
gonna
2
be
years,
out?
he's won big
He
Is he
games.
going
has,
to be out
he
for
has.
the first four or not?
Oh, who cares? It's a scrum schedule.
Scrum schedule.
So I mean, they're playing a bunch of
Schedule of
nobodies.
scrumming.
He could. I think that his hardest games are towards the back end of the season. So
we're
his
about to
first,
what? We're
well,
about to
okay,
have
his
a- we're
first,
about to have a-
his first four is nothing.
He's about to have us a looky-loo. And if I can get it pulled up.
I just think Michigan's got a better.
If the internet works
Better
in this
team.
house, East Carolina, UNLV, Bowling Green, Rutgers.
That's a gauntlet right there, folks. Look
well,
at that.
Nebraska's going to be the first.
They don't have
test.
anybody. Keep going
Yeah,
down.
keep
That's
going, yeah.
nobody.
Nebraska
Penn State.
is.
They're going
And
to
why
Penn-
do you think I picked them first?
No, they're going to Penn State.
No, their first one's October 21st, Michigan State. I know they're way better, but
That's
that's
always
an
a rival- it's a
in-state
rivalry.
rivalry,
It's the big
and I've
rivalry.
seen them. Yes,
What do they play for? Each other's bums.
yes.
No,
Play for a kiss.
I like. They've already announced the 11 a.m. That really 11.
11
Look at
the
11 a.m.
what-
No,
what
sorry,
time?
the 11 a.m. Fox
Is this
just
like 14 hours to
Fox
make a play?
just continues to screw college football. Can you imagine Penn State at night with Michigan?
Hey, they did
Michigan,
it. They
Penn
did it to
State,
them in
yeah.
the Ohio State game too. They did 11 a.m.
Yeah, what a crock of shit.
That's horrible.
Well, that's what you get when y'all were down to one viewers.
Sorry, one
You
viewer.
had three. It's just your wife. She's not even looking at it.
But anyway, so I think that's a stretch. I'm just saying, I got a feeling. I thought Ohio State's. I mean, that is an easy schedule at the beginning. They've got some tough teams at the end. It's really all going to come down to that last game because Ohio State's not going to have one loss more than Michigan does before they get there. And that's the whole key. You know, they can lose some other random Big Ten game, and they'll have the
They
heads
have
up.
Notre Dame.
Not in the conference though.
Youngstown State.
Keep going.
I don't know. Look, they
Yeah,
got
they
a
did
back
it.
to back with
No.
Penn State, Wisconsin.
I didn't like Wisconsin. Yeah, but
Wisconsin.
Penn State was at home. I like that. The Wisconsin one concerned me because the farther along you
I'm
get.
just saying,
But look
it's-
at the end. Everybody else is at home except Michigan. I mean, I like their
Okay.
schedule.
Well, Rutgers isn't at home.
It's Rutgers.
Did you pick Rutgers high in your picks?
Huge.
Did you pick them third or
Huge.
something to go bold?
I did. I went.
He picked them second to
Rutgers.
last.
Rutgers wins their first Big Ten title in 40 years.
God.
Of course I did.
Well, so we've talked enough about that. We all think Penn State's the third, even though. Can you pull up their schedule real quick as we talk about that? Honestly, they're probably the most talented team that Franklin's had since he's been there. Their schedule's not bad either as far as the big teams when it comes down to it. That with the home and the way. Sean's going to pull that up for us. We're going to talk about their
Home
schedule.
and Away. Isn't that a movie about Oklahoma?
I don't think so.
That
was
the one
a
with
dog.
Tom Cruise where
Oh.
he was trying to get the land?
Maybe, yes.
And he
So as we pull up their schedule,
stole all the natives' land?
I'd never believe in Penn State though. That's why I had to pick against them. Their schedule sets up pretty easy. I mean, they're early. They do have to go to Ohio State.
They got Iowa.
Dude, they have UMass right after Northwestern.
That's an SEC schedule right there.
It is, really.
What else they got, Sean, below that? Because the
my-
only tough
I'm
game
trying
is
to-
Ohio State.
Take a
Iowa.
Oh, now. That was at home, too. So, see, they've got all the tough games at home. I mean, they could be the surprise.
Do they? That Ohio State game looks away.
Ohio
I said the
State.
one. I did say the
Ohio
one.
State's away.
But otherwise, they have, I mean.
Michigan State's not going to be a
So if you got Ohio State to
they
lose.
lost their quarterback.
But you could potentially have
Where is
a.
he starting
well,
at now?
well, no, you potentially could be a 3 tie.
No, Michigan
if you
State's-
cycle that over.
Michigan
Penn State's at
quarterback.
Ohio State. I think Penn State. They go to Michigan.
Where
Michigan
was
goes.
Thorne just said named a starter?
Parker.
Hey, Auburn.
Auburn. Peyton Thorne is the new starter at Auburn. Yeah, I've got that wrote down in my notes.
See,
But anyway,
we are good, ladies and gentlemen.
anyway, we'll leave it
We
at
know
that.
what
We're
we're
pretty
talking
close. I disagree. We'll see what it finished at. All right.
You always disagree because you hate us.
Preston.
Okay, I'll start with you this time because I haven't started with you. We got Wisconsin on the west. We got Wisconsin, Illinois, Iowa, Purdue, Nebraska, Minnesota, Northwestern.
Yeah, that's going to be a sad. That's still sad. Wisconsin still has the best shot at winning. I don't know. What are you doing, Kenny?
Sorry, finding my pen. Go ahead, Preston.
Why are you writing
Okay,
this
so
down?
Sean has got Wisconsin, Nebraska, Iowa, Purdue, Illinois,
Dude, it's
Minnesota, Northwestern.
It's
That's
weak.
cute.
Believing in Matt Rule already. A little early.
What you got? Who's the Illinois coach?
Chubby from Arkansas.
Belima? Is he still there?
Brett Bielema. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's all you got to worry about. There's nobody else in that conference. Everybody keeps picking Iowa way too damn high, and Kurt France falls apart. Every team that he has
I got
falls
Wisconsin,
apart. They
Iowa,
finished
Illinois,
fourth at the highest.
Purdue. I got Iowa high. I got them second. I
Finished
got
fourth at the
Wisconsin,
highest.
Iowa, Illinois, Purdue, Nebraska, Minnesota, Northwestern.
Can you stay in the mic when you talk?
No, I think that the Iowa
Stop
pick,
hitting the mic. It's not a sausage.
the Iowa pick is not bad because Kurt's son's on the hot seat. There's been a lot of drama about the offense. I think they're going to try to go a little more bold this year, bolder than scoring 14 points a game average or whatever they had. But I really
like 11.
I mean, I hate to be redundant here, but I really like their schedule too. I thought it was much easier. I thought most everybody in the West was actually had a pretty easy schedule.
Yeah, I can do it. It's not on my screen.
What?
Nothing.
You pulling up Iowa's schedule? Or
Oh, did you want Iowa
pull up
schedule?
Nebraska's. That's what I want to see is how you pick Nebraska so high.
Magic, Kenny.
What?
With my
No,
heart.
I know you done it.
And I know you done it.
I know because you're thinking
I
that
know
in
you
your
done it.
head that Nebraska's
I
coming.
wish Miss Coke was listening
They're-
right now to
they're-
hear you. I know you done it.
They're coming back to.
Anybody hear that story?
Did
Yeah, Kenny got railed by his old teacher
no?
for speaking
She's not
stupidly.
old. My former teacher.
Old teacher. Your
So
old
there's-
teacher. She is old as well. Sorry, Miss Coke. Okay, so you got Minnesota.
three.
This is Nebraska. Minnesota, Colorado, Northern Illinois, La Tech, and then you
There's
get
a
to Michigan.
loss.
And then you got Illinois,
loss.
Northwestern, Purdue.
There's a loss.
Well, that's a throw up.
No.
And then Michigan State, Maryland,
That
Wisconsin.
Michigan
Iowa.
State's a
Six.
throw up. Yeah.
6 and
Yeah.
6.
Wisconsin's a loss and Iowa's a loss.
What's everybody else going to be in that?
About 6 and 6.
7, 6, and
5.
6.
Yeah.
So don't get on my ass when it's weak.
Well, no, we just thought that you're. I think that you're really.
I've got
you're really
7
putting
losses.
Iowa. You're
7.
putting Iowa down, even though we generally don't think Iowa's very good. Obviously,
Because they fall apart all the time. They open the season beating Iowa State.
They
Woo.
will this year. So they go to Penn State, but then they've got Michigan State, Purdue at home, at Wisconsin,
Which Purdue's going to
Minnesota
win.
at Northwestern, Rutgers, Illinois, Nebraska. That's it. I mean, they don't play. Did anybody see
Iowa?
Did you see Ohio State and Michigan on that schedule? Oh, nope.
That's the reason I got them too.
Me too.
But they got to play Utah State in the opener. Oh, wow. I thought
No, you
Iowa
don't.
State.
You got
Not
them
a
three.
conference
You got them
game.
3.
Who do I have second?
Illinois.
Oh, Illinois. That's an even better one, actually.
Is it?
And I got Illinois 3.
Well,
Maybe you have them 2 swapped.
I think Illinois is just a better football team than Iowa.
I think Illinois is a better team than Iowa. Cool. Cool, kid. Is that your hot take?
No.
Is that your...
No, your hot take was Nebraska second in the West.
Yeah, because everybody else is garbage.
Well, I think Iowa
Who's
and
the quarterback?
Illinois
Who's
is
the
less
quarterback
garbage.
coming in for Nebraska? Who did Rule get? I think Rule's a better college coach than he is a pro coach.
He is, but it's his first year. Bielema is second or third. Illinois has Penn State at home. They go to Purdue. They have Nebraska at home. They go to Maryland, winnable. Wisconsin's at home. They go to Minnesota, that's winnable. And they go to Iowa.
Winnable.
I'm just letting
That's
you
why I
know.
picked Illinois second.
I'm just letting you know.
Well, no, that's
we
fine.
need
I like the
Zach
Illinois.
in here all the time to listen to this shit because me and Sean had the East the same. And you're like, oh, cute time. Me and you have the West the same.
Oh,
did-
cute
Was
time.
it exactly the same?
Exactly
Purdue,
the same.
You had Purdue above.
Look at you two.
I have
there we go.
Wisconsin.
Don't touch that Sasquatch.
No.
Don't touch his Sasquatch hand.
Let me just tell you. Northwestern, Minnesota, Nebraska,
Touch him.
Purdue. Yes, it's
We
all.
actually had the same.
So, I mean.
Yeah, and who's the starter? Who is the starter for Nebraska?
Now,
Because they lost Casey Thompson, didn't they?
yeah, I don't know who's starting for.
I honestly don't know.
Sorry.
You're the one that picked him so high. We picked
Well,
him way down low. I haven't really paid a lot of attention to
We both have Nebraska 5, and you got Nebraska 2 or 1. Hang on.
Kitty's laugh.
All right, so there's our predictions for that. As we move on, Sean, where are we at on time? Let's talk a little bit.
We're almost 30. We're like 26.
Oh, good. We've got plenty of time.
We're 27.
You know, nothing we didn't talk about.
Nothing we didn't talk about.
No, we talked about the Big Ten. We've talked
very
about
good. Very good recap.
Hold on, in the Pac-12.
Very good recap.
Now let's talk a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about the big news this week. What's been the biggest news this week, Sean? You think in sports?
Oh God. Well, Robert Quinn killed a woman.
Did she die?
No, she didn't.
Totally.
He slapped her though.
Pac-12 continued being its own.
The Pac-12 implosion. Oh, do you want to talk about the fake?
We can bring
the
that up.
fake article
Yeah.
from the Pac-12
Pac-12's not imploded yet.
saying that the Pac-12 is going to
It's saying
take.
Allegedly,
Hold
they're
on,
going to bring
stop.
a bunch of.
They're going to take 4 Mountain West teams: Colorado State, Boise State, say SDSU.
Was
Who's
it
the
Colorado
other?
State?
Yeah, it was
Were they
Colorado
in
State.
that?
They're
Yeah.
taking them for
Okay,
some
did
reason.
you mention that already?
Yeah. There's one more team they're taking. And then they were going to take everybody
San Jose
in the.
State? No.
Yeah, it was.
Was it?
I think
Really?
And then they're going to take everybody.
Not that they've already
In-
got the California market.
And,
that no one
they're
watches.
taking everybody in the AAC except for
Tulsa
Tulsa
and Charlotte.
and Charlotte.
Yes.
Why?
Because there was a picture, there was a graphic, the new Pac American is what they called it.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if that was really true, because, I mean, there's a lot of bullshit on the internet. But we saw that, and Sean texted it to me, and I was like, where the fuck's Tulsa? I mean...
Yeah, we had no idea why they left Tulsa out.
So I've did a lot of research as far as internet research. I haven't talked to any of my bystanders for Tulsa, but that no one knows anything about that as far as what Tulsa. It's not being brought up anywhere.
No, I know. And I hate it.
Bystanders are the pseudo insiders, Sean. Remember that?
Kenny, you have nobody. You have me.
Oh, I've
you
got
have
a lot of
George,
people.
You've got these 2 idiots. You've got a 14-year-old son.
Anyway, moving on. I didn't call you an idiot.
Kristen,
He
I
did.
love you.
So
Sean, you got Nebraska fucking winning it all. So, I mean, fuck off. Who's the dumbass here?
he thinks Osborne's rolling back out on the field and going, "Oh hell, we got all the talent now."
They got Heinrich Harburg, Chubba Purdy, and Jeff Sims. That's where Chubba Purdy
Is Purdy still there?
Yeah.
Is he related to your Purdy?
Yeah, we
talked
said that. Yeah,
I
it's his
know.
little brother.
It was a joke. He should be an all-star then, and then
He
get drafted the
is.
8th round and probably the 15th round. And that was basketball.
Basketball's only got 17 rounds.
Anyway,
Sad face.
I forgot about Purdy. He played a little bit, didn't do well.
Well, he got thrown in.
Uh-huh.
Remember, because Thompson got hurt.
It's an interesting season. I mean, I I really am rooting for them. Keeping on the college front, though, that Beck did get named starter of Georgia.
What are you doing?
I did have to talk about...
Are you feeding the cat beer?
I did have to talk about the...
Like, seriously. Sit down.
So, anyway, moving on, because he had to leave.
What was the news? What was your big...
That was...
what,
No,
what,
that,
the,
no, that was it. That was the Pac-12. I wanted to talk about that.
But then I only saw that. I only saw that one article, and I saw nothing after
Nothing
that.
else about it.
Everything else was about the implosion. They hired Oliver Luck, Andrew Luck's dad, to come in and help them.
Who did
try to
run...
say, but here's the deal.
Did he run XFL for a while? Was it XFL, or was there another... I don't remember all the...
He did West Virginia.
No, he was at West Virginia,
but
yes.
he was helping West Virginia.
He was Stanford, West Virginia.
USFL?
I don't know, but he ran
No,
one
it was
of those.
XFL. It was XFL.
Okay, yeah.
Before the second implosion.
Correct.
But no other article is talking about this. Nobody, nowhere else. It's just them.
I think what it really amounts to, and it's sad.
I'm telling you, it's a Pac-12 article trying to save them.
The
trying to save
Pac-12
their
is
asses.
just trying to continue to be that, and like we've talked about in the previous episodes, that the AAC and the Mountain West should be the ones being proactive rather than sitting on your rear.
The
If
Pac-12
doesn't
has said
exist,
that they will
they're
take
not-
all 4 teams.
Of course they will, because they still want to be. They think they're going to continue in
And
this
move up,
contract
and move
of being
up
that
into-
that 5. The what do you call it? The not the Super 5.
Power 5.
Power 5. Yes, I'm drawing a
But
blank
the
here.
whole thing is that if the Pac-12 were to do this and take these teams, ESPN still owns the contracts for those teams.
Correct.
Right, so those would be on TV.
But there were-
and then Apple would have the terrible Pac-12 that nobody watches.
Which they didn't sign, and no one's going to do that.
But
deal.
that's what's still out there.
Did you see the rumor though about the Apple looking at buying? I read
Disney?
something, and ESPN and all that. Yes, yeah.
Oh, I saw.
Interesting. It'd be interesting. All right, Sean or Creston.
Disney's made terrible decisions, so
I know,
there's
it's
no.
bad.
They're running out of money.
All right, let's move on. Let's
get political.
Let's talk a little bit about the outdoor.
Oh, really? Outdoor?
Yes.
We're not going to do any NFL?
No.
Preseason?
We just have notes. We'll talk about notes.
Tua's first pass was an interception.
We'll move on to that.
But he looked awesome after.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about notes. But anyway, Chris, so what do you got for the outdoor minute? Let's hear what you got going on. I know
36
fishing
minutes.
because
This is the earliest outdoor minute we've ever
no.
done.
I'm just saying because there's not a lot of NFL and it's 170 degrees outside in Oklahoma.
There's a ton of NFL.
So we're going to talk about points of that. But so what have you been doing? Not fishing because it's hot and all the fish are floating to the top. And so what do you got
I haven't
going
been
on?
fishing either.
Wait, we went up to the lease last Saturday and Sunday. Mike, Lonnie, me, my wife, kids. We moved a couple of stands around, trimmed up some limbs, just kind of getting everything ready for this season's to start October 1st. Bow season starts.
That's close. I know a lot of people that are chomping at the bit to get that.
What'd you say the start was?
October 1st.
Right around the corner.
It is. It is right around the corner. Blinds are already being set up. Like you said, you're out cutting limbs and
Setting up moving tree
chasing
stands.
hogs.
Yeah. There has been 300 and almost 400 pigs shot off of our 1 3/4 lease in the past calendar year.
Now is that just you?
That's
and
us,
Lonnie?
the state.
Oh, okay.
The states flew the helicopter over it 3 times. They're not going to gain on them.
No. The only thing you do is just set up multiple traps repeatedly.
Still doesn't matter. There's so many hogs up. I mean, you would have to set them on everybody's property up and down that river for
Yeah, but that's what I'm
40
saying.
miles. And you still would...
It's a massive amount. You would slow it down.
That's it. That you're slowing it down.
Whatever happened to swine flu? I guess that didn't really take off, did it? So, all right, what do we got going on?
So that's pretty much all I've done in the outdoors. We went and switched some stands around, cut
So
some
what's
limbs.
next? I mean, what's the next plan? What are you doing? Are you doing? I mean,
Tomorrow I'm going to Hannah's uncle's land down south at the mountains, down south of Robbers Cave, down by Wilburton, and he's went all to the redneck or whatever enclosed fiberglass blinds on the pedestals up in the air.
Wow.
He's went to all them. So he's got a tripod stand and a couple of 2-man ladder stands that he has down there that he's not going to use anymore. I'm going to go pull them down for him, cut some limbs and stuff, and bring the stands home and put them up at my lease.
Oh, I gotcha. So he still has the land, or is he leasing the land?
No, he's still got the land. He
Lease or own?
Own.
Oh, okay. So what's he doing now down there? I mean, what's just getting rid of those stands?
He's putting all enclosed redneck blinds or.
That's what.
I'm sorry.
Taking the stands down.
Taking the old school and he's building the new.
Yeah, he's
doing-
putting-
whatever brand he's. I don't know. I just said
I got
redneck. It may be muddy. I don't know. But anyway, they're the
Whatever,
high dollar
whatever
stand.
you can hunt Sasquatch with.
Yeah,
Yes, that's right.
I'm not spending $2,800 to put a stand up. I'm sorry.
And we
I'm
are
not
firm
doing
believers in Sasquatch here because Kenny is his illegitimate son.
Yes. Bloodline runs deep. Good. So
I don't know why
you're
you
pulling those, and then so is that you're going to fish a little bit probably in September? You going to do anything in August? Or
I do
left?
not. I think I got one tournament in August. It's
in it next week?
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't realize we're so deep in August.
Yeah, Kenny, we're
I know.
19th.
Boom. But in September, you're going to get back to fishing.
September. It picks September and October.
Right after Labor Day, I assume, because they don't do nothing on Labor Day, and then
It really
let all the
starts
crazies.
kicking. Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's
Get
when
off
all
the
the
lake.
drunk rednecks are hooting and hollering. So yeah, college football is now what we were 10.
We do start next week with some
9,
games.
8, 7 days away.
Yeah, we start next week. I don't like.
What did I say the biggest game was next
I
week?
think it was
Navy,
Notre Dame, and I think
Notre-
they go to
Notre-
Ireland, don't they?
Is that the Ireland game?
Yeah, I think it
I
is.
can look it up.
I think that's going to be. And the interesting on that, though, I was looking at that game and I was looking at the spread. It's really high. Navy's got a new coach. I don't
that's
think.
right, they
I don't
because they got
think.
beat by Ireland.
I don't think they're going to run the same boring. I say boring option. I mean,
It's boring.
it is. So I mean.
I don't know. I kind of like watching it.
Well,
I do.
okay, but
not
that's
all the
all
time,
they
but
do.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
I know.
that's been the problem is that's all they do.
Yeah, it's in Dublin.
Okay, so it's 20.5. I said 30. I'm sorry. So the spread's 20.5.
Kenny's rolling.
No, I might have looked at a bad website, but anyway. And then you got USC.
I thought you only looked at
maybe
Caesar Sportsbook.
I'm sorry. Maybe it was USC. I was thinking was 30. Which wouldn't that be a dandy upset right off the bat? But ain't gonna
It
happen.
would be great, but it's not going to happen because.
But no, that was the only game.
SJSU.
It is in Dublin. It's going to be on NBC, an early game.
Oh, it's 1:30.
That's the most interesting game.
That's the only interesting game happening.
Yeah. Because I think there's some other Wake Forest plays somebody.
Well, this is stuck in the top 25. Let me get out of this.
Oh yes, to go to the real. But anyway, well, good. So outdoor.
yes.
So next week we'll talk a little bit about what you've done tomorrow, and then talk about what your future plans are for that. So. As we move on, any new rules? Been keeping up with any rule changes? Anything in the state that they're doing?
Unanimously passed that in 2025, I think 2024, 2025, there's going to be a 7-day or 8-day bow season. 1st of September.
When's it
It's
normally
early.
start?
It's earlier.
It's early for a velvet
Yeah.
season hunt.
Oh, they're going to do a velvet. Okay.
Yeah.
Reasoning?
So you can get
Don't
that
know,
sweet velvet.
I guess. I mean, I don't know because I've got mixed emotions about it. I really want to shoot a deer in velvet, and you'd have to go to what? There's
Like a high
7
fence or
states.
some shit?
No, there's like
Oh.
7 states that have an early velvet season hunt. No, Iowa,
Vermont?
Nebraska, somewhere.
Hey, is this a no? Let me. Okay, so Oklahoma's just now doing this. Is this a money thing? Is this a tag?
I don't.
Is this
yeah,
a?
well,
is-
it's a
are they-
tag,
are they-
but I mean, you'd have to
There's
say
a lot
that.
of deer out there right now.
Well, no. I'm saying I'm going back to the financial side of it. Are they
Well, it's a
doing it
little
because
both.
other states are doing it because they want to bring in some money?
What's a little?
Yeah,
a little
because
bit of
people
both.
would pay to come out of state to hunt for velvet horn deer. I mean, you don't have that many opportunities.
Well, that's
to
what I was going to say. So you know X amount of
Kenny,
states.
where do you
they
think all of our
surround?
velvet comes
Do
from?
they surround Oklahoma?
No,
Oh, okay.
no.
So
See,
you're going to get some outsiders.
You got
Yeah.
I don't know. It's West Virginia maybe is one of them, and then there's a couple in Nebraska or Iowa or somewhere up there. I don't.
Well, there's
know.
always some,
Yeah.
something that says, hey, let's not talk about, is it a deer population thing? I wouldn't think for
bringing
velvet.
money. It's
It's
bringing
money,
money.
it sounds like.
If it was a deer population thing, just have it during the regular season, just up the limit. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, I mean,
So it's not
I
that.
can see both sides of it. I would really like to shoot a deer in velvet. I think that would be awesome to shoot a big one and have him
So,
mount it.
yeah, because you're going to
But-
get some extra hunts.
but
and some,
then
it's
again-
what is that called when you're doing something very specific? It's a, I don't know. I'm
don't
missing
care.
the word, but you're right.
I don't
you
care.
can bring new people into your state, and it's kind of a hoity-toity thing. I think is what
But
some
then-
of this.
But
But
then
you can
when-
charge more, probably.
Oh, see, I told
Have
you
you been
7
watching
states.
Doc Hollywood?
7 states that have it. I was right on that.
Hoity-toity.
But anyway, Kentucky, I think. Yep, Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Oh, speaking of that, Preston, you said in 2025, is that going to be
What
a
is it? Oh, Montana.
just Bo, right?
You got
Just
Montana.
Bo. Just Bo.
Okay.
And it's 1 week. I mean, it's from Saturday to Sunday. It's a 1 week time frame. But the deal, I see both sides of it. Because here's the other side.
Cha-ching!
What?
You
These
say Montana's
non-resident
non-resident fee?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
that's
keep
what
going down. I bet that ain't the highest.
Oh, I didn't even look at Kentucky.
I was gonna say.
Well, you go
I
look at
bet it.
Kentucky's.
I bet. Well, I didn't even look at it either, but I doubt it's the highest. They don't really.
No, 140.
No, go back up. That's annual hunting.
Yeah, that
Yeah, but it was
annual-
non-resident.
Or was it
Yeah,
not?
there was non-resident.
Okay.
120 for 2 deer.
Well, that was 140 plus 120.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's fine. That did you to drop it.
370.
North Dakota, 250.
Okay.
And this sorry.
Nebraska
Nebraska's
was in it. Yeah.
249. 242 for off the cuff.
And $7 to the football program.
Well, that's how they make their money. Non-applicable. South Kakalaki, 125.
Well, I guess Montana is the biggest. They have the big steer.
Montana has some
I've
really
got a
big
big
deer.
Yeah.
They have.
Yeah, non-resident Idaho, only,
450 or
yeah, you're pretty much paying.
460.
But anyway, both sides of that spectrum. Yes, it would be cool to shoot one and have one mounted in velvet and all that. But then again, you got to think you're taking out deer that doesn't make it late enough in the season to put their genes back in, breeding. So there is 2 sides to that.
God dang breeders. No, but I kind of see that. I see what you're saying. And then I also think about, though, Montana, very
Open?
least populated is what I was getting ready to say.
Montana's one of the biggest ones to go shoot
Well, it's
velvet
huge.
deer in
And-
because
and the
they
space
can
is huge.
set up. Well, the way they do it, they set up and watch the alfalfa fields early season when the alfalfa's green. Deer love alfalfa.
Yeah.
And they set up and watch, and
I
they'll
don't
see,
understand why they don't love buckwheat.
and they keep
Or Darla.
How about Spanky? But they can pattern the deer coming in and out of the alfalfa fields by setting up and watching them. There's not a whole lot of trees. They can see where they come out of the river bottoms.
Open.
They come out. So
Well, they got a lot of land.
that's one of the
Dispersed,
big that's one of the
we used to
biggest
have a lot of
states
land
to
here.
go.
It's a bitch of a season up there in the winter, so it's not like everybody's rolling up there to mow or to live. I mean,
Mow?
to mow to live.
Hey, Kristen, get the mower.
I don't want to mow.
We're going to Montana. We're doing
Go to
the
Montana
lawns.
and we're mowing alfalfa.
We're getting the lawns for them.
I misspoke. But anyway, all right. Well, thank you for that, Dorminute. We'll talk next week about what you did in Wilburton tomorrow. And all right, let's move on. Sean, you got anything on the NFL?
Don't we have to do the East?
What?
We did the East.
East of what?
Did we do the East? We've done them all.
I don't know why
I
it's
don't
not on
remember.
the board.
It's not on the board.
We
East
did
of-
it.
East
We
of
did it
what?
last week.
Oh, NFC East? Yeah, it was
and
Cowboys.
Yeah, I
It is
thought we'd
NFC.
done it, but I don't see it on the board.
Oh, there it is.
Where?
Niners, Seattle. No, that's West. Where is the East?
Where's the East?
Nobody wrote the East down last week.
We've
Where
got
is
it-
the boy?
We've got it in the book.
Where's the
somewhere.
boy?
I'm sure I have
think
it.
you've got it in the book.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sure you all picked Philadelphia.
I did.
I did too. And I picked Cowboys second.
Yeah.
And it was
Giants.
Giants.
Giants
I
and-
think we
yeah,
all picked the
Redskins.
same.
We all
Okay.
and the-
agreed on that. It
I
was
thi- it
the
was.
AFC that we had a little. AFC East, we had a little flip-a-do on.
Yeah, we need to pull that up.
Because the
actually.
Jets might have a better season. They just got Dalvin Cook.
I think you picked. Well, yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. So, do you think that? Do you think?
Oh, and Ezekiel Elliott. We got
Well, no, I've got
Ezekiel
him
Elliott,
wrote down,
East,
but I want to talk.
Patriots.
Now you're
not
bring-
going to change the team.
You're going to bring up the East. Dalvin Cook.
Well, that's.
But why? Brees Hall's really good too.
Well, just so you can have a really good tandem.
But their
A really
offensive
good
line, I
one,
think, is
one,
the
two.
weakest of the Jets.
Okay, but
and I think
then-
that's why I
then
picked
you
them
help
third.
you help them out. Now
Find
you've
your
got
notes, Kristen.
now you've got a really
I've
good.
got the AFC and NFC North. I've got the South.
Did we just slack last week?
The
Or
South. I have the West.
I know we did it.
I do not have the East. I do not.
Bills, Dolphins, Jets, Pats.
I'll listen to it.
I thought we talked about it, but I don't guess
we did.
Check
We
Zach's
did.
notes. He might have wrote it.
Yeah, I think he might have been writing it down and transferring it to the board. I might not have wrote
He
it
just
down.
didn't do shit. He didn't do
I
anything.
got it right here. I got mine.
Well, I know mine. I mean, mine's easy to pick.
What'd you do? Bills, Jets, Dolphins, Pats?
I did Bills, Jets, Dolphins, Pats, I
And
think.
I think you did the same thing.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. And I think he did the same thing. Oh, he was the rogue one, actually.
He did Jets.
He had Jets first. I know
Yes.
that he did.
Yeah.
We'd have to listen to it. And so, anyways, yeah, just the two running backs finally got signed. Did they both do a 1 year? I know Zeke did $6 million.
1 year, $6 million. Yes. Zeke went to the
I didn't see what
Patriots.
Delvin did.
You know, I think
for
that
the
was
Jets.
I thought that was a 1 year, but I'm not sure. I just didn't understand that. I mean, he's good.
Who?
Don't get me
Who are we
wrong.
talking
Dalvin
about?
Cook.
Delvin
Okay.
Cook, from Minnesota.
I thought you were talking about Zeke, and I was
He's not good.
Yeah, okay.
He was good. He was
He was
in
good
college.
when they had a really good O-line.
No, he's good in college.
No, but he was good for
Dallas
seasons.
has maintained a good O line generally. I mean,
Yes.
they've been better. They've they went
good,
down a little
good
bit.
enough for him.
No, I just think
An O-line that was good enough for him.
he reminds me a little bit about like James Harden. In
LeBron
basketball.
James, where he just
no, not LeBron.
It touched me, coach.
No, LeBron James. Don't even bring him up. That dude works his ass off. It's hard.
Flop it. It's hard to flop.
And
It's hard to have a guy touch you,
Harden-
and then you just fall down.
Harden has every year at times, not
I like
every year,
Harden.
but at times have come in overweight or out
No,
of
I like
shape
Harden.
or whatever.
I hate
you
LeBron.
would. I know you do, and that's just you being, you're
What, Kenny?
what's the word? I'm missing a lot of words tonight. You know when you're
I just don't like
you're
LeBron. I don't
biased.
like LeBron.
You're biased. You're
Yeah,
biased.
I'm
You're
very
biased.
biased.
You're biased.
I
He's
don't
a whiny
I don't
bitch.
I think LeBron's good, but I don't like him. I think he's a whiny bitch.
D-Wade.
The only one that I think is above him
D-Wade
as a
was the
whiny
best
bitch
guy on that
is
team.
Steph. Steph can go up for a shot, not get touched, land on his ass, and throw his hands up like, oh, that was a foul.
No, yeah, but they're both really good.
I'm not saying they're not good.
My whole point was
Really good.
that I think James Harden isn't to the craft of being the best player. He doesn't give 100%. He just does, even in the offseason.
Was it the beard? Maybe you should shave the beard.
It has nothing to do.
Have you seen that? It's just like a little mouth in
It
there.
has nothing to do with
It's just
that.
all little mouth, and you see the teeth every now and then. You're like, "Where's your face?" So yeah,
Back to the NFL.
back to the NFL. So the Dalvin Cook issue gives him a 1-2 punch with Breece Hall, and Breece Hall's still injured, isn't he? Isn't he?
Mhm. No, they cleared him.
Is
He's
he?
back.
Okay,
he's
he's
back.
back.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's back.
Yeah, it just
And
it gives him a
was
decent
having
1-2
a
punch.
hell of a year leading up to his injury.
God, they
so
have such a horrible schedule.
I mean, I think that
the easiest game's right here at the Patriots.
Who's at the Jets?
Yeah.
I know.
I think the
hate
Jets.
that I
Well, no,
picked
no.
them.
I think the Jets are going to start off 2-4 or something. I mean, it ain't going to be pretty.
No, it's not. You got a Broncos game, you're gonna win. Giants, it's a coin flip.
I was going to say, you can't say you're going to win because
No, because I think you all had. No, you didn't have Giants second. Did anybody have Giants second? Zach did, maybe.
maybe.
Probably he's weird like that.
No, they have a tough schedule, and I think everybody in the AFC East has the toughest schedules because they all go together. I mean, they're all playing the same. Miami's won. That's why I kind of flip-flop. I would almost be tempted to pick, because I jokingly said that all of them would be in the playoffs. I'm almost tempted to pick the AFC North as everybody makes the playoffs except the bottom one.
The
But
Bears?
who's gonna? No, the Browns.
Oh, the Browns.
AFC.
I was thinking NFC.
Yeah, because I think that I said damn it, Bengals, Ravens, and Steelers have all improved, and I think they're going to be good.
What is this?
And potentially all could make the playoffs when it comes down to that. But
1 year, $8.6 million.
that was it. There was no secondary. Okay, okay.
Well, that's what it says.
And and I thought that
it's worth up to something, but yeah, it's just.
And I thought
worth up to
that
8.
Miami was another pick for him that would have been
They
a better
have
fit.
a lot of running backs, don't they? They got
Mostert,
Morstead, they
but
got,
I mean,
what'd
Cook-
you call him?
Is it Mostert?
It's Morstead.
Who?
Morstead.
Morstead is his name.
Yeah, you call him Monster.
I didn't say monster. I said Morstead.
You did say
Moister.
Yeah, you called him Moister.
I don't think I said. I said Moistert. Sorry, Moistert.
Okay, Moistert.
It still
No,
it
it's
sounds
not
like a
Monster.
horrible mustard.
I don't. I'm gonna have to look up his name because it's not. What'd you say it was?
Morstead?
It's
I
not.
thought it was Morstead too.
Is it? Is that?
I
Is
thought
it,
it was.
is it that easy?
I thought it
Where's
was.
where's your
It's
little
Mostert. 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 I was close.
Moister?
That's what I said.
Yeah, we know. You said Moister.
What do you think his name is?
Morstead?
There's no R in his name except at the end, not the beginning. It's Mostert.
Okay.
Moistert.
Morstead.
Mustard?
No. Boom!
No.
I didn't
flipped
call
off
it
the
monster.
camera. And you flipped off the camera. Kenny.
You said Morstead.
I was flipping you all.
I know, but you didn't. You got.
That's what we're gonna start calling his dude wipes, Moister.
Now, and I probably
Well, he needs
said
those a lot,
no,
okay? He
no,
likes shit himself.
and I do, and he probably said I probably said him wrong too, but that's how I looked at it and how it was spelled and I pronounced it, Moistered.
Moistered.
I didn't
It's
say-
moistered.
I didn't
It's
say that.
moistered, boys.
All right, another NFL news: Anthony Richardson named the starter of the Colts already after probably one preseason game. I don't even think he played the second one. Anthony Richardson, Colts. He's going to be the starting.
Actually, it's Mostert.
I believe that's what I said.
No, you said Moister.
That's what
You put an
you
I
just
in
said. No, I did not put an I. Moistered.
Moist.
Mostert. Okay,
Most.
But you joked and said I said mustard. But I mean, so
No,
whatever.
I said it sounded like a mustard.
Okay, there you go. So anyway, but Anthony Richardson starting quarterback. Looks like Bryce Young's going to be the starting quarterback for
C.J. Stroud's going to be the starting.
C.J. Stroud's going to be the quarterback. I mean, so we've talked about quarterbacks that.
Young quarterbacks getting thrown in.
So who do you think by the end of the year is going to look better as far as that young? I mean,
Young is not going to look good. He has no protection. He looks fucking horrible.
Unfortunately,
And it's not his
Will
fault.
Levis.
He is under pressure every time he gets the ball in his hand. I mean, he's about to get sacked before the center gets the ball to
Good
him.
point.
I didn't watch. The
No, their
Panthers.
offensive line's
I didn't
It's
watch the
horrible.
Panthers game.
It's absolutely.
It
fucking
happened the
horrible.
same with them last year. They went through Baker, Sam, and then who was the
P.J.
Walker? We
The guy
talked about
that's
him
in
earlier.
Chicago.
Yeah, so he went through all of them, and the offensive line isn't the problem. What these
Is
NFL
the problem.
No, is the problem. That's what I'm saying. The quarterback isn't the problem
Yeah.
necessarily. What these owners and these GMs need to realize is you can draft all this talent you want, but if they're running for their life immediately, David Carr. I was making sure it wasn't Derek. David Carr
We're not
reminds.
going to get into that argument.
Yeah,
again.
no, but the Houston Texans. I mean, the offensive line sucked. He was the number one pick.
Pretty eyes.
No, I'm just saying it was the same thing that I've seen, and it's only been a small sample size for Bryce Young, but he looks like he's running all over the place.
I
Because
watched the
he
game.
is.
I watched it the other night, and it was horrible. It was like the ball would hit his hands, and he was moving immediately because there was a guy grabbing a hold of him. I thought he'd done well for what he was dealing with. I mean, you don't really know because there was no protection. He couldn't drop back in the ball. He didn't have 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds. He had a second and a half to make it a fucking
Now,
decision.
and also, I hate to go to this whole, oh my God, look at this because it's preseason because we're talking about
It is preseason.
different defenses, different looks. I mean, coaches don't play like this is NFL. I mean, there's difference to this. I understand. So I don't think that. I try not to look at that. I thought Anthony Richardson being named the starting quarterback.
Yeah, but the line has to block. I mean,
They do, no matter who it is.
Yeah.
But then you think, what starters are out and why are they out? Because they shouldn't be. They should be practicing to help this guy not run around everywhere. So, no.
I can see him
first
getting
team-
hurt.
first team
I can see
Yeah.
him getting hurt real early. Because he's not a big frame. He's not a big-bodied guy. And as much
No,
as
I think he was
under,
the smallest guy that was
I
in the
know, and
draft.
as much distress as he was under this.
Hey, do you think the first team was out there for
And Sean, did
Mahomes
they-
all night?
Originally, they were the first two drives.
But that's upset. No,
Offense.
do you think
Oh, against
the
the defense?
line? Do you think the line?
Offensive
was out,
line?
Yeah, for
Yes,
Kansas
it was.
City
It
was
was.
out there the whole time.
Just the first two drives with Mahomes.
With
it was.
Mahomes.
It was. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
Creed
'cause
was
you
there.
know-
I
the
saw
new
Creed
start-
Humphreys.
Yeah, the
under
new starting
center, yeah.
tackle. Now they've moved
Tackle?
some. Yeah, they got a new starting tackle, and I
said
didn't.
Creed
Walker.
Humphreys. I thought
No,
it was-
Creed
No,
was at center, and their
it's
new
the new
starting tackle.
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 They had him. So I think that was more of a primer. They wanted to get the starters in immediately and do it. What you're going to see with them, they're a little different. Everyone tries to play starters more in the last preseason game.
Yeah,
Kansas City's different.
the last game they
Like,
played
let's
the
just
first
play
half.
early and then hell, let's just roll it. See, that's too much.
They played the first half. But you're
What
only
they've
doing
started
3 games now.
I know 4. But
No, you got
is it
3.
only 3 now?
Yeah, remember?
Damn.
They lost that. We got into an argument
That
about
was
this.
the 17.
They lost
to
that
make up
game
for
to get the 17th game.
I'll be dang. Okay, so when's first game? Is it the Thursday after Labor Day? Would be the first game is generally what they're going to bring in. Probably, yeah. I want to say it was the Bills or something's coming in on Thursday. It's going to be a good game on Thursday.
We looked this up like 2 days ago.
Yeah. So, but no, but you're right. I think that his size is going to be a problem. It always is. I mean, but you can't just draft a tall quarterback like we talked about Blaine Gabbert or somebody like that just doesn't have that talent either.
I just like a quarterback.
I like a quarterback to see over the line.
7th. I just like a quarterback with good skills, very good mechanics, very good thinking.
Bryce Young's got all that. He's just short. That's why they picked him number 1. He's got everything but height, is my opinion.
No, he's an Alabama quarterback. That's against him. Huge.
You guys are in love with Hurts. He only went to Oklahoma once, 1 year.
But he went to Oklahoma.
So no, but he's
so
an
Alabama
quarterback.
Does. Alabama takes their quarterbacks and then sends them off for the final season to go to OU.
Well, no, I mean, Tua Lovett. Tua didn't. Tua didn't.
You're right. And old Mushhead.
And neither did.
Started off with an interception, but got awesome.
No,
allegedly.
No, I'm just saying. And neither.
On sports allegedly.
I did not say that. Which I do have his stats at the.
Oh Jesus! Here we go.
Well, no. Sean texted me and said, "Oh, first throw was an interception." I said, "Oh, I know. It was a bad mistake." I said, "But we didn't talk about the 14-play drive, 93 yards,
14-hour drive."
Yeah, that I missed text. But anyway, and that
while
shows
driving.
that shows you that. Yeah, they're all them quarterbacks are going to make mistakes. He's still young, and you're not playing with all your starters still. That's why the preseason really, to me,
Chiefs Lions is the opening.
You cannot just get dramatic about that. Yes, that is the
Chiefs
opening
Lions.
game. That'll be a good
September
game.
7th.
September 7th's first real NFL game. So we're 2 weeks. So we're less than 2 weeks away.
It's exciting.
I hate this.
It's exciting times. I get so excited this time of year.
Sean, can you pull up real quick? Can you pull up the Tampa? Can you pull up the Tampa game? I want to see if Baker. Trask started tonight. His percentage was good. His yards was not. My theory is, because I'm a fan, obviously, is that Baker's going to start anyway. It's a formality that they're letting Trask still play because he's younger. But Baker's going to be the starter.
I think we're aware of that.
But
Kyle Trask didn't do bad, 218. I mean, he did it against second Jets. T-Boyle.
So they were 10-6. Well, yeah, I was kind of looking at the scoring part of that, though. Was not real.
They got 10 points in the second inning. I don't know why. Inning. It was going to come out no matter what.
The inning.
It was coming out no matter what. All right.
Now, I do like, just for preseason fodder,
Come on, Internet.
Look at Minnesota getting their rears kicked again in a preseason game, because I did pick them last. Now, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I sent Sean something the other day about Justin Fields, or I might have sent the group. I don't know if I remember. I said it's too soon about, he had 3 passes for 107 yards. Yeah. But all his passes were behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
It was a -2,
and I said,
-5,
-5,
-7.
And that was the yak we bitch about. The Purdy yak. Yards after catch.
You're the only one that bitches about it.
I do, because you were giving me Purdy stats.
Purdy throws across the line.
No, I mean, Debo, he'd throw 1 yard, Debo Samuel would run 82. You'd be like, look at that stat. Look at Purdy throwing for that.
It was still a forward
pass.
Who knows it was? I don't even remember. I just know the yak was large. The yak was large. Yards after catch.
Good receivers.
Well, no, I agree.
I mean, not everybody can have shitty receivers
when Kenny goes to talking about
I guess
stats,
Baker didn't play all night tonight. Was he worried about his financial problems that he's dealing with? Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, he's got some family member investments. Think they stole $12 million. I don't know. I mean, not the right time to
He's
come
got
out.
his accountant going and looking.
Well, I think they've sued to get some files or some documents or something.
To get the family invested money to see where it went.
Some family member, yes. Who knows? Allegedly.
And this is why we don't give money to family.
Yeah, you don't let
Shut up. I'm just as bad. But Sean was looking at you. He wasn't looking at me.
No, the difference is I'm not running my family's financials because they don't have any.
So you are running your family's finances.
No, Giving and running and receiving is a big difference.
You're definitely not receiving.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Ever.
So Baker Mayfield's family member of some type received a bunch of money, and he claims that he stole it, or maybe he didn't. I mean, allegedly.
We could go over about what I've
Allegedly.
received and what I've given away to a certain member of my family.
No.
Yeah.
We're moving up.
That's our
live?
That's our
Can we go?
financial.
'Cause
That's
I
our
can-
financial.
yeah.
That's our financial.
Now we're moving on to Zach's trivia hour.
No, Zach's not
hold
here.
on.
So
I know Zach's not here. Trivia hour. All right, guys. Trivia. Where is the white van parked?
his friends. Okay, so I have an interesting.
Hey there.
Yeah, so I have an interesting.
Do I win?
I have an interesting trivia question for you. Zach should have come in. There are 6 teams in pro sports that share names. Can you name them?
6 teams that share names.
Uh-huh. So it'd be like.
It's not the Guardians.
So it'd be like easy. So it'd be like NFL's Rams and the NBA had the Rams too. They share a name.
Well, nobody's
So
got the Jazz.
So there's 6
But
teams.
you're only doing pro. Are you doing now? Is this
There's 4 pro teams.
Stop. Is this NHL as well?
Pro.
Yes,
Since
4
you-
pro teams.
Well, you don't consider the NHL.
I did not never say that. 4 pro teams.
Yeah, you do. You said they're not professional. You said nobody likes them. Nobody watches
I've never
them.
seen
See,
that.
and let me think about this.
Yeah, because I've never said that. You're just running. So you think about that.
Oh, am I?
No.
All right,
You talk-
here's your trivia. What cities teams all share the same colors?
What?
What cities
Oh.
professional teams all share the same
Pittsburgh.
colors? Yep.
Tuffy.
What NFL team only has a logo on one side of their helmet?
Steelers.
That's all I got.
Okay,
I only
there
got
you go.
Steelers
Okay.
trivia.
Anyway. So anyway, you guys think about
Zach's
that.
not here.
There's 6 teams in the pro, and there's 4
4
pro sports.
four
I'm
pro
not counting
sports.
the WNBA. I'm counting hockey, NBA, football,
Pelicans?
basketball. There's 6 teams that share.
4 or 6?
I'm sorry, 4 pro sports.
4.
6 teams that share the same name.
Okay, 16.
So anyway, don't Google it. Anyway, I want
I'm
to talk.
not Googling it.
wanna
I'm
talk
giving him a hint.
Okay, so anyway, as you think about that, I want to talk a little bit about Carson Beck name. I think I
hold on,
started that already.
Let's clarify this. We don't have to have all 4 teams sharing the same name.
There's 6 teams that share the names
Right.
in 4 sports.
Right.
So some of them might be 1 baseball, 1 hockey, 1 football, 1 hockey. You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
trying
Yeah,
to clarify
yeah,
that
yeah.
for.
So anyway, Carson Beck, named starting quarterback of Georgia. Georgia's still. Sean, while we're talking about that, would you pull up the AP
New York.
college? The AP college
Jets?
poll. So anyway, we'll talk about that. And I want to talk about that New Orleans.
New Orleans?
In morning. I
Norney?
really don't know his name.
There
It
we
was
go.
the
We got
it was the
Kitty.
defensive lineman.
Oh, you wanted the AP
in
poll.
Warney is what I would call him. Yeah, pulled up the college AP poll. As you guys think about that, Warney from Missouri had committed
Oh yeah, you told me this
to
story.
Missouri
Third
this
day.
last week,
Third
and then showed up to he's from Lee Summit in Missouri. There was there was a scrimmage, I think at Union or Jinx. Gosh, I can't remember.
I think it was
I thought it was Union.
Oh no,
I
it was
couldn't-
Union.
It was Union. And they were one of the teams. He was wearing OU cleats and gloves, and everyone was freaking out because it was a bad loss for OU as far as the defensive linemen go. So, are we cheating here?
No,
Yeah.
I'm not.
There's the Winnipeg
I don't-
Jets.
I don't-
The
that-
New
You
I
York
wanted
Jets.
the AP poll.
Well,
I
this
just
is
happened-
hockey logos.
Thanks, bud. Hey, help me out.
I didn't mean to do that. I honestly
You leave it there for a couple more minutes, I'll have all of them.
I honestly didn't mean to do that.
But that is one. Winnipeg Jets and the.
See, I wouldn't have got that because I don't watch hockey.
Yeah, I know,
I'm sorry.
and hockey is there's one other one.
In hockey?
No, there's one other hockey one. But anyway, going back, think about that. So going back to that, the nil law that went into effect for Missouri actually this year was if you sign some sort of non-binding agreement for financial aid or
Yeah,
something.
I was trying to figure out what that was. I couldn't read your.
There's
weird
a
handwriting.
lot of weird laws, but anyway, essentially, in you could receive some nil benefits, name, image, likeness, if you attend a state school. If you're a homeschool kid, or I'm sorry, if you're an in-state kid, and you attend a state school, that you can receive benefits before you ever show up to school. Well, this guy committed to Missouri, who had, and now allegedly Georgia was his second, but OU was trending for this guy for months. He's the #1 defensive lineman in the nation. He did show up to Oklahoma, showed him some love, whatever. Hopefully they're still in on him. I don't know. Who knows? The key is for OU is to get Stone,
Stone is from
Oklahoma, and now he went to IMG in Florida.
Okay.
So that's the key, is to get him. Everybody's on edge about that. But anyway, we joked about Lincoln Riley's quarterback pick that is now second or third string at Florida that still can't get on there.
No, you're talking about Vandergriff.
Vandegrift.
Yeah,
So Carson Beck was named that. I mentioned that earlier. I'm sorry. So anyway,
Vanderhausen.
and then the AP poll. I wanted to talk a little bit about the AP come out. Really not the coaches, but there wasn't a lot of difference. But everybody had that Georgia was 1, Michigan 2, Ohio State 3. Now we all know that that's not how that's going to end up. They're just saying that's the best names. 4 Alabama, LSU. I thought that a few teams that I thought were a little high for my liking. Washington was a little high because I think their schedule was so tough. I picked them 3rd in the Pac-12. Is that right? 3rd, Creston?
Which one?
Washington, or was it even 4th?
Might have been 4th. You had switched
Washington.
No, you just so Washington.
Yeah, because I had some. I think I might have picked Washington 4th.
You went USC, Oregon, Washington. No, you might have dropped him.
No, Kenny's got Washington 3rd.
Okay, so who's the 4th?
Utah.
Okay, that's what it was. But then Utah was my other one at 14. So Texas, I thought was a little high because they're going to drop right after Alabama because I think Alabama, they beat them. Penn State, we talked about could being up there, but they're going to fall a little bit. Notre Dame, new offensive coordinator, new quarterback. What now? Like Hartman.
Well, Florida
Hartman
State's,
from Wake
Forest picked where they should be because their quarterback is already in
Jordan
the top
Travis. He's
for
good. He's good.
Heisman. He's already the leader for the Heisman.
I need to watch a little bit more about him. I mean, think about OU last year. We did really well to keep up with that.
Teams?
To keep up with that team.
For the trivia?
Yes.
Just 6?
Just 6. We really did well to keep up with them.
I thought there was more.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
No. What are you talking about?
The teams that share the same name. There's 10 professional teams that share the same name. I just looked it up.
So who are they?
You've got the Arizona Cardinals and the St. Louis Cardinals.
Oh, that's what it was. That's the one I...
San Francisco Giants and the New York Giants. The Jets and the Winnipeg Jets. The Kings, Los Angeles Kings and the Sacramento Kings. Panthers and Carolina and Florida.
Okay, that's what I was like...
So where'd you get 12 at? There's only 6 that share the same name.
1, 2, 3, 4,
There's
5,
6
6,
same
7,
names.
8, 9,
There should be
10.
12.
10 teams.
You missed one. You're talking about teams. I'm talking about...
Share the name. Okay, 6
names.
that share the
Yes.
same name. Okay.
Yes.
Well, excuse me. Hang on, let me look.
So you couldn't figure it out. You had to Google it.
Yeah, you're damn right I am.
So what'd you mention? You missed one. Did you get the Rangers?
Oh no, I did not.
Texas Rangers, New York Rangers.
Rangers. Yep,
That was
that's the other
yeah,
one.
that was the
Okay.
other one. Yeah. So all right, there we go. That was the trivia for tonight. That was a
How was that cheating? You said no computers.
That was a tough one. Rangers, Giants, Jets, Panthers, Kings, Cardinals. The one I actually missed
Kings
was the
was what I
Panthers. I couldn't figure
See,
it
I
out.
kept trying to figure that out. I was like, Florida
I
Panthers.
missed the
Florida
Panthers. I missed it.
There's another
I
team, the
missed
Panthers.
it. I missed it.
And then I kept thinking college.
Carolina.
I think
I know, but I kept thinking college Panthers
No.
because there's what team is I think it might be a double A or a 2A.
I have no
So
idea.
okay, let's go back to the college. Sorry, I didn't mean to
No. We're
interrupt
just
you.
looking at the AP poll. And Sean, what's our time? We're going to wind down here and talk.
We're at hour 7.
There we go. So we're good. We're talk about that. Just what you thought about the AP poll when they come out. What's your highs and lows? Now remember, next week we'll pick the Big 12. We'll finish that out. Then
I think by the end
One
of the
issue-
I think by the end of the season, right now, looking, you've got Georgia, either Michigan or Ohio State, one of them two. I think Michigan. You think Ohio State.
We could see an all SEC, all Big
Well,
Ten.
but I mean, you don't-
And then I
I'm
see
saying
I
we
see
could see it all
USC.
SEC, all
USC will make the Final Four, in
Playoffs.
my opinion.
I think so too.
Yeah. And it depends on what happens with Texas. I mean, Texas could possibly win out this year, and they could be there.
I tell you who I really like, and I'm gonna foreshadow my Big 12 picks, but Kansas State is the team I really like.
Who's
Potential
their quarterback now?
same guy, the Howard guy.
But didn't they
Oh,
lose a running back? But they usually always
They
have
lost
another
Deuce.
one.
But they
Yes.
they lost Deuce, but they have most
Yeah.
of their line back. They have like 17 returning starters. We'll talk
Wide
about that in the
receivers, I think,
preview
they're
next year.
coming back.
I understand, but Kansas State's
Kansas
a big
State
run-heavy
potentially
offense.
could reach that playoff this year. Potentially.
So you think TCU's got to collapse?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Lost a lot of players. Your offensive coordinator.
So you're thinking Kansas State's better than Texas? Has a better shot of making the playoff?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying? Okay.
I do, and not just because of talent. I think just because all the returning starters.
Well, look,
Texas
somebody
is super
finally
talented.
ranked Notre Dame where they belong at number 13.
Texas is I like Hartman coming from Wake Forest to there.
But what I'm
Notre
saying
Dame
is
could have
Notre
a really
Dame was
good year.
finally ranked where
They could have a
to
really
begin
good
the
year.
season.
Yeah.
Usually they're
usually
up in the
top
top
6.
10.
The one I didn't like the most as falling was TCU and Ole Miss. I thought those two. Ole Miss has a tough schedule. I picked them towards the bottom of the SEC East, and
and there's Iowa still back in the top 25.
And I thought TCU.
They lost a lot of
schedule-wise-
players, and they got a tough schedule.
They do. They do.
Schedule.
Schedule.
I like this one right here. I like this Oregon-Utah matchup because either one of those two teams is going to go up, or both teams could go up. And these little
That's
turd-
interesting
turd
because
lickers-
USC is going to be there.
And it's
These
tough to
little
look at
turd
the
lickers gonna
AP.
fall.
It's tough to look at the AP because you think, they're the better teams. But once the schedules start to play out,
When you score 50 to 60 points a game, you usually 99.9% of the time you win.
Creston, Harold, Sports Allegedly.
OU usually won.
And I saw
We'd
a
have
stat,
one game.
dude. I saw a stat the other
except
day,
for that when they were fucking,
and I can't repeat this. I
They
just
were
saw it.
10
And
and
I'd have to
0
look it
being
up.
up.
But I know that
38 to
they
nothing at
mentioned
halftime.
30
quarterback.
to nothing at halftime. 30 plus points at halftime. OU were 38 and 0 until they played Georgia. Yeah, we're not going to get started on that. I'm just saying, if you can
Wasn't
score,
that high
if you
at
can,
Wasn't that high?
I can't.
31
That's what
to
it
7 or 14.
17. Remember they scored that field goal
Yeah,
at the
the
end.
field goal. Okay.
That was his
31-17.
point. Yeah, that was. Yeah.
But OU had never lost a game when they scored over 30 points in the
I
first
can't
half.
spell Georgia.
Yeah, and there was.
I mean, maybe not never, but the last 38
and there,
or 40.
and there was
whatever.
a stat that had quarterbacks in college that the most losses when scoring 40 points. I think it was 40. Could have been 30. Baker Mayfield led that, and I thought, wow, what that tells you a lot because the rest of them, there was one that was a 2. And then the rest were
Don't look that shit up.
The rest were a lot of ones and ones.
What's up with this? What's this Barstool Sports not coming through?
But anyway, tough loss. All right, anything else? All right, got our picks in. Next week we're going to talk about the Big 12. We're also going to talk
And
about.
have you done your stat hour?
No, I didn't do
That's
stats.
his notes.
No, I just
Yeah.
did my notes. But I also want to talk about that next week also.
I forgot where I put the.
At the Big 12, we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about the Final Four we're going to pick. And then we're going to talk about the any NFL that we might want to switch if we're getting close, since that's going to start the following Thursday. So we need to do it next week.
What do you want next week? I'm going to write this down and we're going to text it out.
You ready? Big
Yes.
12.
Big 12.
Final Four.
B12.
Final Four, baby. We're going to announce our Final Four.
Final Four for baseball?
No, for college. Then we're going to go
Then-
over. We're going to go over our NFL picks to see if we want to change any when we post them. Get final
review.
And then last but not least, we want to do 5 overs, 5 unders. You can pick college or NFL
For what?
to pick on the
Win-loss?
betting. Yeah, over unders
For the
wins.
season?
For the season.
Oh, okay.
Yes. We're gonna do that as a contest.
5 plus
We'll put that
minus.
down. Also, not on this podcast. We're gonna do our fantasy football too. So lots of work to do for that. So anyway, thank you all for joining us for this episode of Sports Allegedly. We might have made a record time. Was it 120?
113.
Oh, we
that-
did.
yes,
There we
that's
go.
awesome.
Trying to trim it down for y'all, folks. There's
Trimming it down.
we talk too much, and we could
We
sit
don't
here.
talk. We argue too much.
That's
Trim
exactly
something.
right.
Trim
So,
some
all right,
stuff
thank
down.
you for joining us.
Yep,
Appreciate
thanks,
it.
everybody.
See you next week.
Yep.
Thank you to old. Oh, hey, guess who's coming?
Is it 9:30?
It
Oh, it's
is
after 10, it's late.
9:52.
Yeah.
So.